Welcome to the IG Joe prisoner camp.
Dun 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 dun. Oh, the dip. You got one in the dip. You here to wipe the general's butt? They're everywhere. Okay, what's going on? Really?
The girls in the checkered top.
Oh shit, I thought it had something to do with Engvall.
Really? Walk up there. Everybody else is here. Just walk up and down. Get out of the way. We'll take this.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Uh-oh. He is alive.
Hey, how's it look? You think it's pretty?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, anybody, because they were told me I could do longer for one night, but if it's gonna be like Houston, I don't want to do it. Hey, man, it's the last night.
25 minutes.
No.
25.
No.
You gotta do
No.
three. You gotta do
No.
three. Yes.
You want some? Where do we get something to drink?
Over there.
Over there.
What do you want to drink?
45 minutes to what?
He's got 20. He has to perform 25 minutes.
Want to see my new feeling?
Okay. Somebody explain to us why you married him.
I can't explain it to myself. That's still the big question.
What are these days? He's not right. Bill still hasn't seen all this mess. Get the little dudes hanging from the ceiling and shit. And his dip too. That looks like somebody's been into his peanuts. How close?
He walked out of catering, but he's detained signing autographs.
Watch my glasses. This ought to be interesting.
I want to see his face too.
I'm trying to figure out how to...
Tony. This photo be right there.
Hysterical. Looking from the ceiling on the TV.
Oh, I missed the ones on the TV.
Look at the dip.
No. Oh, man. There's an IG Joe in the dip. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Is there no justice?
It took me down here an hour to solve this guy.
Oh my God.
They're
This is
every...
classic. This is classic.
We're going to put IG Joe prison camp on the doors.
IG Joe.
Did you put one outside the door, didn't you?
Yeah, there's one outside the door.
Oh,
So
man.
you've got the bucket so you can take them all back home.
Oh, shit, yeah, man. I'm going to take these back.
There you go, Bill.
The boy will go crazy.
That's my favorite. Here's the bread man.
The IG Joe sandwich.
And here's the IG Joe chip man.
Chip man.
Where's the bathroom?
There is a one.
There is
Here's
one.
the problem.
Put one right
Well, that's why we
there.
put that one out front instead, going like that.
Where the hell's that Joe Chip man? I can't see him.
Right here.
I gotta back up.
And then there's IG Joe sandwich man. I'm surprised you have a guy like swimming in the coffee.
I thought about
There he is. You might want to be careful.
Be careful before you drink the coffee, man. Yeah, really.
We don't have IG Joe Beer Man though.
I love this, man.
No talking. No
No
talking.
talking. This IG, I love this.
Did you miss the one in front of the door?
All right, man, everybody fall in, fall in.
Stand up very good.
Oh, I like the guy that like hit the quicksand. He's like,
He's shooting all the way down, baby.
This was classic, man.
Up-and-coming stars in country music today. So get ready. You've seen him on The Tonight Show. He was a regular on The Delta Burke Show. Now put your hands together and join us in welcoming Warner Brothers recording artist and your host for this evening, comedian Bill Engvall.
Hey, Dallas! Excuse me, I've got to go change my pants. I'll be right back. God. What the hell was that? How y'all doing tonight? How about the people on the lawn? How you doing? See, that's where the liquor is right there. That's where all the drink is. Who's drinking back there? Look at, even a 4-year-old. I'm drinking, Daddy. Well, it's good to be home, man. Good to be back home. I miss Dallas bad, man. We've had some good time. We've been on tour. We're going to have some fun tonight. We got Red Aikens going to come up here in a little bit. We're going to have Chris Ledoux going to come up here in a little bit. And then we're going to bring up, I call him the Bull of the Woods, Joe Diffie is going to be up here in just a little bit. So we're going to have some fun tonight. And as soon as we get that sun to set, I'll be able to see y'all. It's good to be home, man. State Fair. I love the Texas State Fair, man. I have more fun there. Last time we was at Texas State Fair, I saw a woman, she must have weighed 1,500 pounds. The weight guessing guy went, no. He said, you don't want me hollering that number out. And you know what? It wasn't she was big. Big don't bother me. What bothered me is in one hand, she's got a funnel cake with every condiment known to man on it. Mustard, mayonnaise, dirt from the ground was on this thing. In her mouth, she's holding a burrito like a cigarette. And in her other hand, she's got a roasted ear of corn. I'm looking at her thinking, good Lord, if you look like that, don't go to a fair and eat like that. Because there wasn't one person at that fair thinking, oh, I bet she just got a thyroid problem. And hanging on to her was this little skinny ass 80-pound man. Just begging for scraps. I mean, it's just like you gonna eat the husk off that corn, pumpkin? She's like, shut up, I'll feed you when it's time. Now go get Mama some cotton candy and a Diet Coke. That's what I don't get, man. If you're gonna eat like that, drink like that. Hell, have a Jolt. We'll eat a fudge brownie then drink a Diet Coke. That's like going to a drugstore and saying, let me get a condom and why don't you poke a hole in that thing for me? It ain't gonna work, man. Well, like I said, I love being from Texas, man. How many native Texans we got here tonight? Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Because we have our own language here. We just make stuff up, man. We say stuff like, I tell you what. That's it. That's a complete sentence here in Texas. It's like, I tell you what. And everybody from up north's like, what? It's like, well, hell, I just told you. And we look at things completely different anywhere else in the country. Last time I was home here, I was driving around, I had a flat tire. I pulled my truck in one of these little side of the road gas stations. The attendant walks out, looks at my truck, looks at me, I swear to God, he went, tire go flat? I couldn't resist. I said, nope. No, I was driving around, those other three just swelled right up on me. And without missing a beat, he goes, well, the heat'll do that. See, I just hate stupid people. They should have to wear signs that just say, I'm stupid. That way you wouldn't rely on them. There you go, right there. That way you wouldn't rely on them, man. You know, you wouldn't ask them anything and be like, excuse me. Oh, never mind. I didn't see your sign. Well, that's all right. It's like a couple weeks ago, a buddy of mine and I went fishing. We pulled this boat in the dock. I lift up this big old stringer of bass. This idiot on the dock goes, hey, y'all catch all them fish? Nope. Talked them into giving up. Here's your sign. A couple of months ago, my wife and I were over in Hawaii. We're laying on the beach, and I swear to y'all, I heard a man say these exact words. He rolled over and turned to his wife and said, you know, for all the tourists you see here in Hawaii, you don't see a lot of out-of-state license plates. Like you're gonna see a Winnebago with Texas plates over in Hawaii. Here's your sign. We were flying home. We're at 35,000 feet. I'm sitting in the middle seat. The guy at the window seat's got his window shade down. We hit some turbulence and the plane bumped a little bit. The man opened his shade and looked out the window. What's he gonna see? You ain't gonna see roadkill at 35,000 feet. Here's your sign. That's why there's warnings on products for stupid people. It's not for us, it's for stupid people. Do you know on a tube of Preparation H it says, do not take this orally? That's sad, isn't it? Because you know somebody wrote them a letter. It's like, dear Preparation H, I ate this whole dang tube. I still got these hemorrhoids. Man, my mouth's so small, I can't eat a jelly bean anymore. But I could whistle really good. We bought a stereo receiver. If you bought a piece of stereo equipment, you know inside the box where they put that little package of drying agent? And on this in big bold letters, what does it say? Do not eat this. Y'all ever bought a piece of stereo equipment thinking there might be something to eat in there? But you know somebody opened that box and went, well, look, I got a receiver and a pack of chiclets. I got music and gum. On a can of shaving cream, it says avoid spraying this into an open flame. Where the hell was that guy shaving at? What, he sitting around the campfire one night? Well, I felt a little bristly. Nice, that's nice. You've all seen this on the back of a bottle of shampoo. It says rinse, lather, repeat, rinse, lather, repeat. You know there's some idiot still in the shower. Because it don't say dry your hair, try it again tomorrow, man. I'm sure some of you ladies here tonight use curling irons. You ever get a chance to read the warnings on these things? I swear to you, it says the first time you use this curling iron, you may notice a slight odor and some smoke. That means your hair's on fire. I'm not making these up. The worst one says, do not insert this curling iron in any orifice. My God. What happened to good old-fashioned foreplay? Was there some guy going, woo, warm up the curling iron, honey? We're going to the fair. I told Chris I'd tell this story. I did one of the stupidest things. I deserved a big old stupid sign this last summer. Last summer, I decided, I turned 38, and I decided I was going to become a rough stock bareback rider in the rodeo. Yeah, not a good age to start this little hobby, though. What happened was my mouth got me in trouble, which it usually does. There's a magazine now called American Cowboy, and they wanted to do a story on me because they thought it was interesting because I team rope and calf rope, but I also do stand-up comedy. Well, my friend who's here tonight was writing the article, and he's a bareback rider. And I've said, you know, I've always wanted to try that. He goes, okay. That's the last I heard of it. 2 weeks later, he called me. He goes, all right, I got you set up to go to Bruce Ford's bareback riding school. And I was like, well, guess I better tell the wife. Pumpkin? You ain't gonna believe this. I'm going to bareback riding school. And she goes, are you stupid? I said, you just figuring that one out? So I called my buddy and I go, okay, I'm gonna do this. I said, what do I need to do? He said, well, you can use my rigging and my shafts, but you gotta get you a bareback riding glove. So I get me a bareback riding glove. One glove, $45. So I go, I get this thing all rosined up. I get to the school, the horse is in the chute. But it's not even a bucking horse, y'all. It's a trainer. The horse still has a halter with a lead rope on it. So, but I get behind the chutes, and you're nodding. So Bruce Ford's back there, and he's a 5-time world champion bareback rider. I figure if he can't teach me, nobody can. So we get back behind the chutes, and he starts calling me cowboy, which starts psyching me up. You know, if he just called me Bill, I'd have been like, hey, you know what? Let's just blow this off. Because the element of doubt had started to sink in now. But we get behind the chutes, and he's like, all right, cowboy, you gonna give me an 85-point ride? You ready to do this, cowboy? And I'm like, God dang, let's go get him. So I get all sucked down that horse. Now, if you've watched bareback riding, if you've done it, you know that hand is right here. This will come back to play later on in the story. So I get all sucked down that horse. I get my spurs up on his shoulders, and he goes, all right, cowboy, when you're ready, you nod your head. We're going to let this horse out of the chute. And I said, let's go. They open the gate and lead the horse out by the rope. They're running this horse in a circle like you would do with your kids. And I'm spurring this horse like I'm at the National Finals Rodeo, man. I'm just, woo! And Bruce is screaming, you got him, cowboy. I said, you got dang right, I got him. Well, about that time, I hear Bruce go, get him, Hank. Hank is Bruce's dog, whose only job is to piss this horse off. Hank jumps up and bites this horse on the butt, and this horse freaked. He did this lunge buck, and I'm airborne. I hit the ground so hard, I couldn't feel my manhood, all right? And I found out why later. Do you remember I was here? When I got thrown, my hand came out. I went to grab again. I racked myself on the way to the ground. So I'm laying on the floor now. I can't feel my manhood, and I got the wind knocked out of me. Now, has anybody had the wind knocked out of you recently? You think you're going to die. So I'm laying on the floor. I'm trying to feel what I think is still there. And I'm trying to get my breath. I'm laying there going, Hank runs over and licks me in the face, as if to say, just doing my job. Bruce comes running and goes, you got to get back on that horse, cowboy. Get back on that horse. I said, you go to hell. I go, I'm going to kill your dog. So I finally get my act together. I get up on my knees, and Bruce says, do you want to ride that horse again? I said, no. I said, but I got to know one thing. I go, did that horse buck? And he goes, oh, yeah. He came off the ground. I said, then I'm done. So he said, well, man, if you ain't going to ride again, I feel bad. You know, you bought that glove. I know they're like 50 bucks. He said, I'll buy that glove from you. My wife has not said a word this whole time. She hears this and she goes, no, we're not going to sell that glove. We're going to hang that glove in our bedroom. So every morning when we get out of bed, we're looking right at that bareback riding glove. And the next time you get a stupid idea like this, I'm going to smack you across the side glove. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am. So I just stick to team roping and drinking beer now. Hey, there's your sign right there. I got it tattooed. I lost so many of them. But I said we got little kids there. We got parents here tonight, people with kids. Yeah, that's the best. And I got 2 kids, man. You try not to do stupid stuff in front of your kids, but you know you'll eventually do something stupid. I did mine last week. I was out in the front yard with my little boy, and he was playing with his friend, and he hit his friend. And I walked on my little boy, and I went, hey, we don't hit. He looked at me like, here's your sign, Dad. I love being a parent, man, but we're out of control now with parenting. I mean, we went out to dinner the other night with this California couple friends of ours, and they're nice people, but they're California parents. I mean, they say stuff like, just let the children express themselves. All righty. So we go out to dinner. They got a little 4-year-old boy, and I know boys will be boys, so I got one myself. But I was raised the way y'all was probably all raised. When you went out to dinner with your parents when you were a little kid, you could talk and enjoy the conversation, but you didn't act up, did you? No, because you didn't want to hear this. Hey, do you want me to take you outside? No, sir, because outside there are no witnesses. I'm going to tell you something. I walked by many a maitre d' and heard him mumbling, he's going to get his ass whipped. So we're out there, and their little boy just being a turd. You know how little kids get when they don't get enough attention, they start that hollering, that mama, 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 mama. And I'm looking at my wife, and I'm like, I'm going to kill him. He's not my kid, but I'm going to kill him. He stands up in his chair and starts screaming at the top of his lungs in this restaurant. People are staring at us. I'm going through DTs. I'm just like. His mother looks at him and goes, Billy, if you don't use your indoor voice. That's when I started ordering shooters. She goes, if you don't use your indoor voice, you're going to get a timeout. Oh, a timeout? Let's try a knockout, ma'am. Do you know what a timeout is? That's when the kid does something wrong. They sit him in a chair and they make him think about what he's done. Oh, my God. Where was that when we were kids? You couldn't have done it because we couldn't have sat down. See, me and this woman, we get in arguments all the time. She says spank is cruel and unusual punishment. I don't think it is. I'll tell you what's cruel and unusual punishment. Anybody have to do this when you're a little kid? Go out and cut your own switch? Thank you. That's cruel and unusual because that's a mental game now, because you're out there looking at that tree thinking, oh, dear Lord, please let me pick the right one. If I pick that one, they're going to send me right back out here. That one will break my spine. And you know the whole time you're out there staring at that tree, your parents are in the house just laughing their ass off. I got sent to that tree so many times, it was just a trunk after a while. I'll tell you another cruel and unusual punishment was the sound of a belt clearing belt loops. Remember that little treat, that little. Anybody's dad do this to you? They'd rip that belt off, then they'd snap it. Oh, see, that is wrong. That's like putting someone in an electric chair and going, shock you? You know what? I wish I could be a parent back when we was all kids. You didn't worry about stuff back then. Like, think back when you were a little kid on Halloween night. Wasn't that the best night of your life? How many of y'all by applause when I was just your buddies on Halloween night for like 5 or 6 hours? You bet you did. Hell, you didn't x-ray your candy. You ate it before it hit the bottom of the sack, man. Just, needle, don't want that. How many of y'all rode in the car seat when you was a kid? Nobody. Car going 75 miles an hour. What are we doing? Jumping on the front seat. Go, Daddy. Go, Daddy. We didn't have airbags. That was your grandma, man. That was your airbag. We had a big old Chrysler Imperial. I'll never forget that car. Anybody ever do this to your little kid? Climb up in that backseat window dash? Laying there picking your nose, looking at the cops, just. That Mack truck had come up from behind, what would you do? He'd honk his horn, your dad would give him the finger, and now he's trying to run you off the road. And seat belts, hell, my dad used to cut them out of the car. That was the best time of your life when he slammed on the brakes. You flew out of that back seat with him, man. You were like, that was cool, Dad. Wait, let me get back up there. But it's hard being a parent, man. There's a lot of things nobody tells you. Like nobody told me you couldn't pass gas around your kids. But you can't. You want to know why? They don't know how to be quiet about it. You pass gas around your kids, one of them's going to go, I smell poo-poo, Daddy. Usually in a crowded mall. You got no dignity as a parent. I got a little 4-year-old boy, like I mentioned. He's potty trained, but he don't know how to clean himself. So he gets up on that toilet, and after about 5 minutes from across the house, this is what you hear. Dad, I'm done. Which translates into wipe my butt. I'm going to tell you something. You don't got a shred of dignity left in you when you walk in that bathroom and that boy has assumed the position. You're just like, what happened to me? You got no privacy when you got kids. I know now why my daddy locked the bathroom door. He wasn't embarrassed about nothing. That's just the only time you got to be alone. And even then you're not alone. Anybody get this? That little hand underneath the door? That little eyeball. Hey, Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing, Dad? I'm building a rocket, son. Get the hell out of here. One morning, I'm taking a shower. I got the bathroom door shut, the shower curtain shut. I'm just digging this nice hot shower. All of a sudden, the shower curtain gets ripped back. There's my daughter with her friend. And the last thing I heard was, see? I'm going to tell you something. You cannot climb a tile wall. No way, no how. I was mentioning my little boy. He's 4. He's going to push me to the edge. I love him to death, but God almighty, the kid's going to push me. I never thought I'd ever say this phrase in my life. Son, please don't bite the dog. But I say it all the time. That dog's neurotic. He won't come out from underneath the bed. He's just like, no, Bill, not as long as that little bastard's still up. No. That dog lives in hell, man. It's my wife's dog. It's one of these little wiener dogs. And the other day, that dog was sound asleep on his back in the living room doing his little rabbit chasing thing. I watched my son walk across the living room floor and go, puppy, bam! And I went, what the hell are you doing? He looked me right in the eye and went, it was an accident. And if I ever find out who gave him this gift, I'll kill him. Somebody gave my son 250 of those little plastic G.I. Joe soldiers. And those things are all over the house, man. So you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, just like, oh, God almighty. There's some little guy in front of the bathroom door like, you here to wipe the general's butt? But my son can't say G.I. Joe, so he calls them his I.G. Joes. So he'll come around the house going, Dad, where's my I.G. Joes? I'm like, look around, man, they're everywhere. This house looks like the beaches in Normandy. And we got this cat that is so bizarre. He'll go in my son's room and get one of his I.G. Joes and drag it in the kitchen and start fighting with it. Well, my son gets mad. He's like, Daddy, Kitty's got my I.G. Joe. I'm like, well, get it from the cat. And I hear this, I said, get it from the cat. Don't kick it from the cat. It was an accident. And these I.G. Joes came in a bucket, man. My wife and I picked them up. We noticed that the bucket wasn't filling back up, but we couldn't find them anywhere. One day we were stripping the kitchen floor. We pulled the stove back, and there's like 50 of them underneath the stove. It was an I.G. Joe prisoner camp. I mean, this cat would like beat the hell out of him, go, get in there, get in there, get in there. No talking, no talking. And he's at this age now where he starts off sleeping in his own bed, but by about 2:30 in the morning, he's climbing to bed with my wife and I, which I don't mind. But the other morning, he was in bed with us about 4 a.m. That kid barfed in our bed. Y'all, it was at that point in my life I realized somebody ought to invent an alarm clock. Sounds like a baby barfing. Because you know what? There is no snoozing. You could be sound asleep drooling, man, hear that, bloop, oh, get up, get up, get up. Damn it, is it on me, is it on me? You'd never be late for work again. 6 a.m., hear that, bloop, shing, you're out of that bed. That was literally the night from hell. It's 4 in the morning, I'm standing by the bed in my underwear trying to wake up. My son's lying in our bed laughing in his own barf. The dog has jumped on the beds now, licking my son. My wife's screaming, get him off the bed, get him off the bed. I start to pick my son up. She's like, the dog, Bill, get the damn dog off the bed. I'm like, honey, it's 4 in the morning. Let the dog clean him up. Hell, I'll do it better than we could. Man, that's as happy as I've ever seen that little dog. Well, my little boy is about as happy as I've ever seen him in his little life. About I guess it was about a year ago now. We was getting ready to give him his bath, and he took off his little Power Ranger underwear, and he found himself. Oh, my God. You couldn't have bought that kid a better present. I wish he'd have found it before Christmas. He'd have saved me about $250. I just said, Merry Christmas, son. That's your TT. See you on your birthday. He loves that thing, man. He found it by accident. Every bath night we go through the same ritual. He take off his little underwear, he runs naked through the house with his hands straight up in the air laughing, and you got to go find him. It's his little manhood thing. I don't know where he got that, but all right, maybe he's seen me do it once or twice, but hell, it was New Year's Eve. But this particular night, we took off his little underwear, he went around on that bathroom, he ran right back in, he's just holding it. He just had this look on his face like, Dad, this is so cool. And he was just squishing it. He looked like a little drunk standing there. I mean, and stretching it. Oh, I'm raising silly putty boy here. Well, I appreciate your laughter, and I also want to thank the guys on the show. They let me go a little bit longer because it's being my hometown and stuff, and I appreciate that. We've had some fun. I do appreciate your laughter because I got to tell you what. Thanks, man. Monday is going to suck because I got to fly home for my yearly physical, and I know it's going to be one of those complete physicals. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. You think you're done. He's like, wait. Say hello to my little friend. Ladies, I don't even guess what it's like for y'all, but the last time I had one of these things, I don't know what this fella was looking for. But after a while, I'm like, hey, Doc, why don't you tell me what I'm thinking? And he's like, why? And I said, because you're touching my brain, man. That's my cerebrum there, E.T. If you're checking for cavities, I got a dentist, thanks. And they use that stuff, stuff. It's like axle grease, man. You can't wash that stuff off with lava soap and a SOS pad. And so for the rest of the day, you're walking around like... Other guys are looking at you like, got the finger, huh? Y'all ready to get this thing rolling? Man, you've come on a good night. We got a great show lined up for you. We're going to have some fun tonight, man. This guy has become a good friend of mine. I'm proud to call him a good friend. He is a hell of a singer, and he is Decca recording artist, Mr. Red Aiken. I stutter. He said, can you help me? He said, son, he goes, I used to stutter just like you did. And he said, and I got the cure for you. He said, what I did was me and my wife had sex in every room of our house. And when we got done, boom, I was cured. He said, why don't you go on home and try that? So he shows up about a week later, and the doctor goes, well, did it work? And the guy goes, well, no. But you have a beautiful house. I love that joke. I love that joke. All right, go get you a beer, Crown Royal, get you something, come back. We're going to come back with Mr. Chris Ledoux.